Well, how's Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. You're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Thursday, April 28th, 2022, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, on Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and they'll take you to the page. After years of suspense, Disney on Wednesday revealed the first teaser trailer for director James Cameron's Avatar sequel and unveiled the movie's official title at CinemaCon in Las Vegas. The Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, and IGN confirmed that Cameron's follow-up to the 2009 blockbuster will be called Avatar: The Way of Water. A short teaser trailer also was shown to audiences at Caesar Palace's Coliseum. Producer John Landau said when introducing the teaser trailer, "We need to make sure audiences have an experience they can't get anywhere else, and that needs to be exclusively in theaters," which will be released next week exclusively in theaters ahead of Disney and Marvel's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Landau says each of the four planned sequels, the first, The Way of Water, is set for a December 16th release in North America. It will center on Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington, Nekathiri, played by Zoe Saldana, and their family. Each will be a standalone film that, quote, together are an even greater connect on an epic saga. Cameron also made a brief appearance at the convention in the form of a pre-recorded message. He expressed his excitement for the world to see Avatar: The Way of Water, and teased that the team has quote, set out once again to push the limits of what cinema can do. In a story set more than a decade after the events of the original film, the footage in the trailer focuses on Jake and Nekathiri and included breathtaking shots of Pandora, according to reports. The teaser featured lots of underwater footage and showed off a new whale-like creatures. The Avatar 2 trailer will go online a week after its exclusive run in theaters. In addition, it was announced that a remastered version of the original Avatar will be released in theaters on September 23rd, 2022. According to Cameron, the visual effects will be even more realistic. Cameron's first Avatar film quickly became the top-grossing film of all time at the worldwide box office, generating more than $2.8 billion. The groundbreaking movie was credited with ushering in the digital 3D era and introducing new production tools and techniques. Warner Brothers is giving a glimpse of the new film Don't Worry Darling. The studio shared a first look photo of the psychological thriller Tuesday following the film's presentation at CinemaCon. The photo shows Harry Styles and Florence Pugh get close while cuddling in bed. The pair play Jack and Alice, a young couple living in an idyllic experimental community in California in the 1950s. Don't Worry Darling, played by Pugh, as she becomes increasingly suspicious of Jack's played by Styles' work, known as the Victory Project, and learns he may be hiding disturbing secrets. Olivia Wilde directed the film and co-stars with Chris Pine, Gemma Chan, Kiki Lane, and Nick Kroll. The cast presented a trailer at CinemaCon that showed Styles and Pugh's character getting intimate at one point with Pine's character in the room. Wilde told the audience that Don't Worry Darling is reminiscent of Inception, The Matrix, and The Truman Show. The actor says, "It's my love letter to the movies that push boundaries of ambition." Wilde said the film asked the audience to imagine a life where you could have anything, true love with the perfect partner, real trusted friendships. What would it take for you to give up that perfect life? What are you willing to sacrifice to do what's right? Wilde previously shared a teaser for Don't Worry Darling in September. Don't Worry Darling opens in theaters September 23rd. The film will be Wilde's second as a director after the 2019 movie Booksmart. And in a related story, Olivia Wilde was reportedly served legal custody papers from her former partner Jason Sudeikis while in the middle of the presentation of CinemaCon for the movie Don't Worry Darling. The Atlanta People reported Wednesday that Wilde was given a manila envelope marked personal and confidential during the presentation of her film on Tuesday night at the Las Vegas convention. The envelope was slid to her by an unidentified person in front of the stage. After questioning if the mysterious envelope was intended for her, the 38-year-old Wilde said she was going to open it now because it feels like it's a script. according to Entertainment Tonight and People. When she opened it, Wilde quickly acknowledged the document and went on with the presentation. Variety reported that Sudeikis had no prior knowledge that Wilde would be served with the child custody documents at CinemaCon. In response to the incident, CinemaCon said in a statement that it would reevaluate its security protocols. Mitch Newhouser, the managing director at CinemaCon LLC, said, "To protect the integrity of our studio partners and the town, we will reevaluate our security protocols. We will act accordingly because it's the right thing to do. We want to do the safe, proper thing." Wilde and Sudeikis have been separated since late 2020 and share two children, 8-year-old son Otis and 5-year-old daughter Daisy Joseph. The couple was engaged, but they never formally tied the knot. In January 2021, Wilde went public with her romance with pop star and former One Direction singer Harry Styles. Sudeikis, meanwhile, was later linked to his Ted Lasso co-star Keely Hazel. Actors Matthew Goode, Juno Temple, and Miles Teller said they found interesting details about the real-life Hollywood players they portray in The Offer, premiering Thursday on Paramount+. The drama series tells about the people who made The Godfather in 1972, and Goode plays former Paramount Pictures head of production Robert Evans. Goode says gained some insight when a collector showed him a pair of Evans's glasses, bought it in action after he died in 2019. Goode said on a recent Television Critics Association Zoom panel, they have bite marks all up and down the arms. Haven't seen that? I was like, he was stressed, sits there chewing the hell out of them when he's on the phone. Today, The Godfather ranks in the top 3 of American Film Institute's 100 Years 100 film list. The movie spawned 2 sequels, and the original film was reissued for its 50th anniversary this year. In the late 60s, Evans and Paramount Vice President Peter Bart optioned Mario Puzo's book in a manuscript form. The film stars Marlon Brando as Don Vito Corleone and Al Pacino as his son Michael, who inherits the family business and continues to run it in the sequels. After heading Paramount Pictures in 1972, Evans continued to produce movies with Paramount and independently. Evans told his stories in the book The Kid Stays in the Picture, which also became a documentary film. Goode said, as Bob said himself, about anything, there's always your version, the other person's version, and then the truth. Speaking with associates and acquaintances of Evans, Goode said he heard personal stories that weren't written about in books and articles. Evans made enemies in Hollywood and feuded with director Francis Ford Coppola during the making of The Godfather. Goode said, there's a lot of contentious stuff about his history. Most of those people would come to you and go, he was the nicest, he was the kindest, he was the most generous. Kelly Bishop is returning to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel Season 5. Deadline reported Wednesday that Bishop will reprise the matchmaker Benedetta in the show's 5th and final season on Amazon Prime Video. In addition, Alfie Fuller and Jason Ralph have been promoted to series regulars in Season 5. The pair joins the series as Dinah Rutledge and Mike Carr in Season 4. The season will also feature 7 new cast members: Peter Freeman, Chloe Kerwin, Austin Bases, John Grizzetti, Michael Cyril Creighton, Eddie K. Thomas, and Lucas Kavner. TV Line confirmed the casting news and said Reed Scott was previously promoted to series regular for Season 5. The actor plays talk show host Gordon Ford. Bishop previously collaborated with The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel creator Amy Sherman Palladino at Bunheads. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel follows Miriam Maige Maisel, played by Rachel Brosnahan, a 1950s housewife and mother who pursues a career in stand-up comedy. Season 4 takes the show into the 60s. Alex Bornstein, Michael Zieglin, Maren Hinkle, Tony Shalhoub, Kevin Pollak, and Caroline Aaron also star. Oscar Isaac says he recruited Ethan Hawke to join his series Moon Knight over many tequilas. Isaac discussed the Disney Plus series during Tuesday's episode of Late Night with Seth Meyers. Isaac plays Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, in Moon Knight, which is based on the Marvel character of the same name. Hawke portrays the villainous cult leader Arthur Harrow. On Late Night with Seth Meyers, Isaac said he was impressed by Hawke's performance in the film The Good Lord Bird and suggested the actor to Moon Knight director Mohammed Dib. He says, and then that day I went to a coffee shop and there was Ethan with his daughter getting coffee. And I approached him and we talked for a little bit. and he didn't know who I was at all. His daughter had to tell him. And then we were like, well, let's get together and have a drink or something. So a couple of days later, we went to Brooklyn Inn and had many tequilas, and I convinced him to be the bad guy in Moonlight. Hawke says in Late Night in August 2021 that Isaac lives about 3 blocks down the street from him in Brooklyn. Hawke said of Isaac, I was at a coffee shop. He came up to me. He's like, hey, I really like The Good Lord Bird. I was like, oh, cool. I really like your work. You're amazing. He's like, hey, want to be in the Moonlight with me? I was like, yeah. So it happened the right way. Hawke praised Isaac's passion for the Moonlight in an interview on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon in March. Moonlight follows Mark, played by Isaac, a mercenary and dissociative identity disorder. Mary Camille, F. Murray Abraham, Anne Archer Green, David Ganley, Khalid Abdallah, and Gaspar Ulliel also star. The series premiered in March and will air its season 1 finale on May 4th. Hailey Bieber is sharing more details about her mini stroke, which she said was the scariest moment of her life. The 25-year-old model, formerly known as Hailey Baldwin, gave a health update on YouTube video Wednesday after being hospitalized and undergoing a heart procedure in March. Bieber recalled how she was having a normal morning with her husband, pop star Justin Bieber, on March 10 when she started experiencing stroke-like symptoms. The star said, I felt this really weird sensation that kind of traveled down my arm. It made my fingertip feel really numb and weird. Justin Bieber said, asked Bieber if she was okay, but she found she could not respond. She says, I couldn't speak. The right side of my face started drooping. I couldn't get a sentence out. So obviously, immediately, I thought I was having a stroke. Bieber was transported to the hospital where doctors determined she had a transient asthmatic attack known as a mini stroke, where a blood clot blocks the blood supply to part of the brain. The blockage is brief and does not cause permanent damage. Bieber had further tests done at UCLA where it was discovered that she had a patent foramen ovale, a small hole in her heart that led to the blood clot traveling from her heart to her brain. The model was hospitalized again to undergo a procedure to close the hole in her heart. Bieber is now taking aspirin and blood thinner daily and hasn't experienced further symptoms. She said, the biggest thing I feel is I just feel really relieved that we were able to figure everything out, that we were able to get it closed, that I will be able to move on from this really scary situation and just live my life. Bieber previously gave an update to fans March 12th saying that she was at home and doing well. Police officers testified Wednesday on Johnny Depp's civil defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard that they cannot readily tell she was a victim of domestic violence when they responded to a fight the couple had in 2016. William Gatlin, the officer who did a follow-up visit after the fight, said he did not notice any injuries, but added that his meeting with Heard was brief and he got no closer than 10 feet of her. Tyler Hayden, the officer who responded to the original call, said he did not notice any injuries to Heard either. Depp had left their Los Angeles penthouse by the time police officers arrived to interview Heard, and hadn't said that Heard had been crying and was red-faced. Heard said that Depp attacked her at the penthouse that day. Heard's attorneys have suggested that Heard could have covered up alleged bruises with makeup. The testimony followed up the Tuesday videotape deposition of Los Angeles police officer Melissa Sands, who says she did not identify Heard as a victim of domestic violence. Sands said she didn't file a report but cited the incident as closed because, in her opinion, no crime had occurred. The testimony from the officers came on the 10th day of the trial. Heard's attorney says their client had sought to protect Depp during that time and downplayed the violence against her. Depp is suing his ex-wife for millions, claiming she destroyed his career by claiming she was a victim of domestic violence during their marriage. Brandi Carlile has tested positive for COVID-19. The 40-year-old singer said in a video Wednesday that she tested positive for the virus and will miss her performance at the Stagecoach Festival. Carlile says, it finally happened. I have the COVID, so I won't be able to come to Stagecoach. It's horrible. In a few days, and I have a chest infection, but I think I turned a corner today, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm devastated to be missing you, and I hope that you have a wonderful time out there with all my friends. Carlile was to perform Friday at the Stagecoach Festival in Indio, California. Friday's lineup still includes Thomas Rhett, Marion Morris, Midland, Tanya Tucker, and other artists. Stagecoach Festival was canceled in 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Carlile released her seventh studio album in these silent days in October. The album features the singles Right on Time and Broken Horses. Carlile will launch her Beyond These Silent Day tours in support of the album on June 11th in George Washington. Post Malone has announced that he will be releasing his fourth studio album titled 12 Carat Toothache on June 3rd. Singer-rapper made the announcement on Twitter alongside what appears to be the album's cover, which features a blurry red photo of Malone. Fans can pre-save the new album on Spotify and Apple Music. 12 Carat Toothache will be Malone's first album since 2019's Hollywood's Bleeding. The album contains the singles Circles, Wow, Goodbyes, Enemies, Allergic, and Take What You Want. The new album is set to contain Malone's collaborative single with The Weeknd, titled One Right Now, that was released in November. Malone has previously released a new music video for One Right Now that featured himself and The Weeknd getting into a bloody shootout. And finally, Travis Scott is set to perform at multiple versions of the Primavera Festival in South America, his first festival performance since the Astroworld tragedy in November. Scott will be performing at the Primavera Festival in Sao Paulo, Brazil on November 6th, in Buenos Aires, Argentina on November 12th, and Santiago, Chile on November 13th. Other headliners for the music festival include Bjork, Lorde, Arctic Monkey, Jack White, Charlie XCX, and more. Scott last performed at the Astroworld Festival in Houston, where scores of attendees rushed towards the stage where the rapper was performing. This led to fans falling and getting trampled to death, with 10 people dying, including 2 children ages 14 and 16. Scott then canceled multiple festival appearances afterwards. The 30-year-old offered to pay the funeral costs for the victims and has announced $5 million in community-focused initiatives. Dozens who attended Astroworld have also sued Scott and organizers. And as the entertainment report for Thursday, April 28th, 2022, I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO. On Twitter at The Enter Report, or on Instagram at The Entertainment Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or your iHeart phone app, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.